Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The February 17th, 2010 meeting of the City Council is called to order. This meeting has been properly noticed and posted in compliance with the open meeting law. These proceedings are being presented live on KCLV Cable Channel 2 and are closed captioned for our hearing impaired viewers. The council meeting, as well as all other KCLV programming, can be viewed on the city's website at www.kclv.tv. The proceedings will be rebroadcast on KCLV Channel 2 and the web the Wednesday of the meeting at 8 p.m. and also on Friday at 4 a.m., Saturday at 7 p.m., Sunday at 7 a.m., and the following Monday at 1 p.m. This building is protected by a state-of-the-art detection and suppression sprinkler system. So should alarms activate, please leave through the exits, and then our marshals will tell you when it's safe to re-enter. I make this announcement just in a matter of caution. We have no reason to expect that would happen, but I think it's best that we all know that information. Before we proceed with the agenda, would everyone please rise for the invocation given this morning by Reverend Thich Yak Ming, Temple Kwan Am Buddhist Fellowship of Nevada, and please remain standing for the pledge.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Bây giờ mình có thể đọc cái này được không? Okay. Yeah.
We introduce to all Mr. Mayor, all councilmen, and everybody here, Mr. Reverend Thich Yak Ming. He is the leadership of our Buddhists in Las Vegas. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Xin chân thành kính chào tất cả quý liệt vị. Mở lời đầu tiên, tôi xin được vấn an đến quý quan khách và quý vị liệt vị hữu chức, chánh quyền sở tại. Hôm nay trong dịp Tết năm 2010 dành cho người Á Châu nói riêng và là Tết của người Việt Nam của chúng tôi hiện đang sinh sống tại thành phố Las Vegas.
With a simple, honest word, we'll welcome to everybody here, especially Mr. Mayor, Goodman, and all councilmen and councilwomen, and all officials, government in Las Vegas. And we're honest to wish all of you a good work with everybody here.
Hồi tưởng sau năm 1975, nước Việt Nam của chúng tôi đã bị rơi vào chế độ cộng sản, cưỡng chiếm miền Nam, nên người dân Việt Nam của chúng tôi phải vượt biên và bỏ nước ra đi.
In memories after 1975, when the communists took over the Vietnam, we escaped the communist regime, which escaped by a small boat to go to America.
Chúng tôi lại được sự tiếp nhận bằng lòng nhân đạo và đón nhận của cưu mang của người Việt Nam của chúng tôi được tị nạn. Nay thời gian 30 năm trôi qua, chúng tôi có được cuộc sống yên lành trong sự cố gắng.
We were welcomed by all the kindness American, and when we came to America, and we settled down with our happiness and the peaceful life in America, especially in Las Vegas.
Và hôm nay nhân danh hội trưởng Hội Quan Âm Chùa Quan Âm thành phố Las Vegas, President Quan Âm Buddhist Fellowship of Nevada, tôi xin đại diện cho cộng đồng Phật giáo Việt Nam nói riêng và cộng đồng Phật giáo Việt Nam nói chung, cộng đồng người Việt Nam tị nạn nói chung.
On behalf of all the Buddhists in Las Vegas, we represent for all the Vietnamese community in Las Vegas. We thanks all the official government in Las Vegas.
Chúng tôi nhất tâm xin dâng lễ cầu nguyện, mong sự ban ơn của Đức Phật luôn gia hộ cho thế giới, cho Hoa Kỳ và cho tất cả toàn dân đang sinh sống tại đất nước Hoa Kỳ luôn được an lành và giàu mạnh.
We always praise the Buddhist because of his blessing for our world, for America, for all people living America right now.
Và chúng tôi cũng không quên xin lời cầu nguyện đến cho tất cả quý liệt vị luôn được sức khỏe an khang, cùng mọi sinh hoạt luôn được tốt đẹp.
We always praise for all these all the people living in Las Vegas, especially Mr. Mayor, all the councilmen and councilwomen always have healthy, prosperous and happiness.
Sau hết là lời biết ơn trước và sau bằng những sự giúp đỡ về đời sống hàng ngày mà quý vị đã dành và giúp đỡ cho người Việt Nam tị nạn của chúng tôi. Xin chân thành biết ơn vô cùng, xin kính trọng.
We always do appreciate for your helping all Vietnamese community in Las Vegas, and we always on occasion the Happy New Year wish all of you a prosperous happiness and always have a healthy to serve our citizens in Las Vegas. Thank you.
Và sau đây là lời kinh ngắn tôi xin đọc để cầu nguyện Đức Phật Thế Tôn ban phước lành cho tất cả quý vị có mặt hiện hữu được mọi sự an lành.
I will pray the Buddhist will blessing all of us today.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa balokite bara samma sambuddhassa sangha balokite bara samma sam. Namo tassa balokite bara samma sambuddhassa sangha balokite bara samma sam. Namo Avalokite Varasam Bota Sangha Sakimuni Buddha Gavalokite Varasam Masam Om Mani Padme Hum. Đó là lời kinh từ nguyên văn ở kinh Bali và Phạn ngữ.
That's all from the Ngạn ngữ to the blessing for everyone.
Tiếp đây là có một chút ít tâm tình mà phong tục người Việt Nam Á Châu của chúng tôi được biếu tặng và với lời cầu chúc trọn vẹn trong cái năm 2010. Xin kính đến tất cả ông thị trưởng và tất cả quý nhân viên trong này trong niềm kính trọng và biết ơn và chúc phúc quý vị được mọi sự an khang tốt đẹp.
We have a simple gift for Mr. Mayor and all the councilmen here. It expressed our honest and grateful to all of you.
Và sau hết tôi xin trân trọng biết ơn quý vị đã dành thời giờ trong sự có mặt hôm nay, và chúng tôi cũng hân hạnh sự có mặt của cộng đồng người Việt cũng như cộng đồng Phật giáo của chúng tôi. Sau hết là chúng tôi xin giới thiệu một vị tướng lãnh trong quân đội Việt Nam Cộng Hòa trước năm 75 xin có lời để nói chuyện cùng quý ông thị trưởng cùng quý vị ở nơi đây. Xin kính mời.
We introduce you our General Lee Tong-ba. He is commanders of armor before 1975. He have some word to wish of you today. And he spends about 13 years in the communist prison for re-education camp. And today he present here too. Thank you.
Major Goodman, the mayor of the city of Las Vegas. I'm very proud to be here today, and you give us the opportunity, the Vietnamese, the free Vietnamese people, and mainly the Vietnamese living in Las Vegas and in the USA too. I say we give you a real respect from our heart to all of the American people. And now mainly in Las Vegas with you, Major Goodman. We follow your work. You've been done a tremendous work for the Las Vegas. And of course, for the Vietnamese people and everywhere in the USA, we do respect you, your name and our heart. And we always say, we continuously respect you. That means respect the people of America, local government like central government. We will do collaborate and we do everything for the USA. Everything you wear, everything you do, we are there. I will fight for freedom and democracy. And we hope in the future, this will go back to Vietnam. Freedom, and democracy. Sir, we do respect you. And every time and everywhere, and our family, Vietnamese now, they wait for you. They wait for the USA to come and help the Vietnam and for us. Thank you, sir, and thank you for all of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much for your kind words. We appreciate it. Good morning once again, ladies and gentlemen. This is the ceremonial portion of our agenda, and for our first item, we're going to recognize our February Employee of the Month. I'd like to ask Chief Karen Coyne to join us at the podium, and I'm proud to announce that the February Employee of the Month is Linda Rollins. Linda, please join us. For the last 5 years, Linda has been a key staff member in the Detention and Enforcement Department under Chief Coyne. This month, she's embarking on a new challenge as she moves over to work as a clerk with the municipal court. I know that Chief Coyne is going to miss Linda's efficiency and her professionalism, but we're glad that she's staying with the city. With Detention and Enforcement, Linda has been the driving force in switching many of the department's policies, procedures, forms, and manuals to the city's SharePoint web portal. This has made the department much more sustainable as they no longer have to print out hundreds of copies of these materials. This crucial information is also now more easily available for detention and enforcement employees. Linda also assisted detention and enforcement program managers with completing their monthly Performance Plus reporting. Performance Plus is a key city initiative designed to help the city manage for peak efficiency and save money. Linda's skills, talent, and consistently positive attitude make her a true team player. So on behalf of the entire City Council, Linda, we'd like to name you the Citizen of the Month for February 2010, and along with this beautiful plaque. Did you get your $100 Visa gift certificate yet? Have you spent it? I didn't do so hot with the Super Bowl. What do you think? Okay, thank you. That's good. Okay, compliments of the Nevada Federal Credit Union. So before we hear from you, Linda, I'd like to ask Chief Coyne to have some remarks. Chief?
Thank you, Your Honor, and council members. What an honor it is to honor a great employee. And let me make it clear, Mayor, we already miss her. She's been gone 2 weeks, and you know it's one of those things where you don't realize how good you've got until it's gone. And we realized that there are things that somebody was doing, but we didn't realize till Linda was gone that she was the one that was actually doing them. So we definitely miss you. I certainly agree with and endorse everything that's written there, but I can't take credit for it. You know, Linda, like we've spoken, it's one thing when the boss calls you out and recognizes exceptional performance, which I do and have. But in this case, a peer of Linda's, Dorothy Carradine from our training unit, an individual that Linda works with in the trenches every day, realized that she was different from the rest of her employees. And I think I don't know that there's really a better compliment that you can get when one of your peers realizes that you are exceptional and consistently so, and then takes the time to put those thoughts and feelings into words and actions that allow us to arrive at a time today, a celebration like today, to honor you. And so thank you, Dorothy, for doing that. And Linda, we miss you, and congratulations on a very well-deserved honor.
Well, this is a really nice honor, and I'm very excited about it. I wanted to thank Dorothy for nominating me. I wanted to thank the Detention and Enforcement Excellent Management for encouraging me to always be creative in the new challenges. I wanted to thank the City of Las Vegas for finding a job for me at the Municipal Court when I was bumped from the job at D&E. And I wanted to thank the Municipal Court for giving me an opportunity to learn and grow further with the city.
Beautiful. Thank you. Congratulations. Great. Thanks, Chief. For our next two items, Councilman Steve Wolfson is going to celebrate the Chinese New Year and recognize the work of Nevada Child Seekers. Councilman.
Thank you, Mayor Goodman. Well, good morning, Las Vegas. I hope you were all able to enjoy our lion dancers and our martial arts folks this morning before we started the meeting. You know, Mayor, you've got your showgirls, and they're pretty impressive, but I've got my lion dancers, and I'll put my lion dancers up against your showgirls anytime. Stand up, folks. You folks were wonderful, and we appreciate. Now you can sit down. Thank you. Okay. They are here today to help us recognize the celebration of the Chinese New Year. And I might add, sir, your comments this morning were just beautiful. And you brought a very warm feeling to my heart. You used words like respect. And that's what I felt for you, sir. So thank you for coming today, and thank you for sharing your kind words with us. You know, this city of ours, Las Vegas, is a great, great community. And one of the things that makes us such a great community is our diversity and our acceptance of one another. So thank you so much, as Mayor Goodman has already done so. The Lion Dance is meant to ring in wealth and prosperity in the new year and scare away evil spirits. The Chinese use animals to represent each year in a 12-year cycle. This is the third year of the 12-year cycle and is the year of the golden tiger. The date of the Chinese New Year is always changing and is dependent on the Chinese calendar. The celebration traditionally lasts 15 days. In honor of the Chinese New Year, we have two very special recognitions today. The Lohan School of Shaolin is being recognized for their contributions to preserving Chinese culture in Las Vegas. The school's lion dancers are frequently called upon by the Asian community to help celebrate special occasions like weddings, openings of businesses, and of course the Chinese New Year. The troupe also performs and talks about Asian culture at dozens of schools every year. They've been featured in movies and participate in special events throughout the West. The lion dancers are all active kung fu artists that come from all backgrounds and train year-round. The Lohan School of Shaolin is also home to the Lohan Spiritual and Cultural Center, offering classes and lectures in Buddhism, yoga, mantra practice, Tai Chi, and the path of the spiritual warrior. Today, in honor of the Chinese New Year and in recognition of the school's 15th anniversary, we would like to present this proclamation to Sifu Stephen Baugh. And that must be you, sir, is that right? So welcome and congratulations. Here is your proclamation, but before I hand the microphone over to you, I'd like to welcome somebody else up to the podium, and that is Janny Lowe. Janny, where are you? Please come up forward. And I was told that you are just a bundle of energy. Well, we'll see in just a minute. Janny Lowe specializes in Asian and Asian American business relations. Ms. Lowe is frequently called upon by companies and organizations to develop programs designed to bridge the gap between Asian and Western groups. Janny was instrumental in bringing 2 large Chinese-oriented events to Las Vegas: the Top 100 Chinese Restaurants Awards and Trade Show, and more recently, the U.S.-China Business Summit. So first, let me give Mr. Stephen Baugh a chance to say a few words, and then Janny, I don't want you to let me down with your presentation either. So first of all, Stephen, congratulations, and please say a few words to us.
Thank you very much for the support. I'd like to thank the Asian community, the Nevada Youth Alliance, as well as the Nevada Arts Council for their support, and especially Chinatown Plaza, who helped us from the very beginning when they first opened up. Mostly I'd like to thank the City of Las Vegas. We love our mayor, by the way. And also, most of those are the Lohan students. These students are helping me to carry on a 2,500-year-old tradition to make sure it doesn't get lost.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Mayor, City Council members, fellow citizens, Gong Hei Fat Choi. As the Chinese would say, Happy New Year. And to our Vietnamese group, Happy Tay New Year. The New Year is the most important time for the Chinese, and there are 2 reasons for this. Number 1, it's time for new beginnings. And who amongst us does not welcome an opportunity, especially this past year, right? Number 2, the New Year, as Councilman said, is celebrated over a 15-day period. Now think about that. If Las Vegas celebrated New Year's over a 15-day period, this recession would be over, right?
I would love that.
And so, I'd like to make a motion, Mr. Mayor.
No, I love that idea.
Yes.
Can you imagine?
I move.
Toasting Happy New Year for 15 days?
You got it.
That would be the best.
Okay, well, we're going to see the next proclamation, right? Thank you. And all in favor say aye, right? Aye. Now, as we know that you mentioned 2010 is the year of the tiger. Can I just show a hand who are born in the year of the tiger? Yes? Just one? Wow. Oh, 2, a couple. Okay, you guys are shy. All right. So just for the sake of the humor, okay? Tiger is a sign of bravery. Tigers are physically powerful, gracious, independent, and brave. They're extremely bold animals. The tiger has an overpowering attraction and is very kind, and always takes on the character of a protector. The tiger is a natural leader and loves the center of attention. Is that true? Yes. It speaks out about the wrongs in society and willingly puts up objections. Even if we do not agree with the beliefs of the tiger, you got to admit, you got to admire the way they protest. Now, those are only the positives. I got the negatives, a long list of them. Meet me outside. I'll share those with you, okay? Now, seriously. Las Vegas is a huge destination spot for the Chinese. The reason I say that, we like to gamble. We love to eat, and we enjoy being entertained. So why should this be of interest to Las Vegas residents? The first place to look is where the money is. How many of you have recently been to a casino lately here? Bellagio, Caesar Palace, Venetian, Wynn, yes. Well, you cannot help but notice the elaborate decorations that the casinos have put up in celebration of the Chinese New Year. Clearly, the casinos have done this as they have recognized the impact on the bottom line that the Chinese bring. And all of us understand the impact that the casinos have on our Las Vegas economy. So all is good, right? Well, almost. There's some potential areas of misunderstandings that I hope to shed some light on. Number one, the Chinese are passionate people, and there's no way about it. Some people, though, may simply call us loud. But seriously, we're just passionate. Number two, the Chinese are very curious people. In fact, I have a friend the other day asked me, why are the Chinese staring at me? Truly, we're just curious. Number three, the Chinese are very normal. When we are quite comfortable, we're not quite comfortable with the English language, we don't speak much. Because of this, some people may call us snobby or antisocial. In fact, we are simply doing what any of us would do when we're not conversant in a particular foreign language. So we just don't have much to say. In summary, as we continue to deal with the global recession, the Chinese are doing their part to stimulate the Las Vegas economy, and thank God for that. And as with all human relations, understanding and awareness are more productive than judgment. The Las Vegas-Chinese relationship is a win-win situation that promises even greater opportunities in the future. Aren't we all fortunate for that? So let us continue to nurture and develop this partnership. Thank you for having me this morning. Happy New Year. 恭喜發財 and Happy 10 New Year.
Thank you so much. My next still? Okay, we're going to switch gears just a moment. No, go ahead and take that, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, we're going to switch gears and we're going to talk about some special children right now. Each year, the Department of Justice sponsors a poster contest for National Missing Children's Day. And we have with us today the 4 local winners. And I think I see you sitting over there. Get ready. The winners for this contest from grades 1, 3, 4, and 5. So to begin with, our first winner for the National Missing Children's Day poster contest. Our 5th grade winner is Kayla Barnum from Tanaka Elementary School. And Kayla is eligible to enter the national contest and will be sending her poster to the Department of Justice to be judged for the national award. Come on up here, Kayla. And if Kayla wins, she will be flown to Washington, D.C. Turn around this way, honey. Along with her parents and her teacher to attend the National Missing Children's Day ceremony on May 25th. So congratulations, Kayla. Are either of your parents here or your teacher? Anybody? Everybody. My God, you have a big family. Well, Mayor, I'm going to ask you to indulge me. Parents, come on up here for a second. You have a lot to be proud of. Kayla, why don't you take the microphone and tell us who's coming up here, and then tell us a little bit about the poster contest, okay?
Well, that's my mom.
Okay.
And my great-grandmother.
Okay.
My little brother, my great-grandfather, my dad, and my baby sister.
Well, fantastic. Okay. Tell us a little bit about the contest and your entry.
Well, I decided to do the contest because I couldn't imagine how I'd or even the parents of these missing children would feel knowing that they might not see them again or they can't see them every day. And this just shows a couple of the missing children around the U.S. from each of the states.
Very nice. And did you do that poster yourself?
Yeah.
Okay. And is this the poster that's going to be entered into the national contest? Fantastic. You think you're going to win?
I don't know.
Well, let's all wish her a big good luck, huh? Okay, congratulations. Thank you so much, folks. Okay. Next, I'd like to introduce you to some local winners, and you'll be able to see their artwork, I think, on the cameras or the screens upstairs. First, we have first place from first grade is Samantha Inenguez from Claude Perkins Elementary School with her teacher, Miss Cindy McDonald. So come on up, Samantha and Miss McDonald. And you know, we're going to do this in kind of group form. For first place from third grade is Samantha Applegate, also from Claude Perkins Elementary School. And Miss McDonald, you're her teacher too, huh? Got double duty today. Okay, and then first place from fourth grade is Janae Dees. Janae, come on up, please. And she's from Claude Perkins Elementary School, and Miss McDonald is also her teacher. Miss McDonald, would you like to say a few words and then give the microphone to your students real? We're going to give it to, you're the designated speaker today? Sure. Take the microphone. Anything you want. Anything you want.
The reason why I wanted to do this is because Miss McDonald inspired me to all of our school to do this for our artwork because she is a nice teacher.
I'm just very, very proud of them. Very proud of them. And we just wanted to bring our missing children home.
Okay, thanks, everybody. Are any of your parents here? The two Samantha's parents, stand up for a second and be recognized. Samantha, and Janae's parents, are any of you here? There's one. Okay. Thank you. And our final winner is a first place winner from the 5th grade and the Las Vegas student who will be competing at the national level. We already talked about Kayla. I'm sorry. My notes are a little screwed up, so I apologize. Well, let's give, what's that? Okay. And that's you, sir? Yes. You're Kayla's teacher? Yes. Okay, well, stand up and be recognized. Fantastic. And you just wanted to be recognized for the free trip to Washington, D.C., is that right? Okay. I think I'm next again.
I hope not.
I think I am. I'm just going to keep going unless you tell me to stop. Okay, we have a special recognition again. And this is for a special group, and that's the Nevada Child Seekers, which is a local organization celebrating 25 years. As a member of the board of directors for Nevada Child Seekers, I work closely with a great group of community members who put much of their time and effort into making sure our children are protected. Through their abduction prevention, education, and outreach programs, children learn the dangers of going with strangers and the importance of being aware of their surroundings and using a buddy system. If a child does go missing, this organization, the Nevada Child Seekers, has excellent resources to get the information out to the community, thus dramatically increasing the chances of the child's safe return. In honor of Nevada Child Seekers' 25th anniversary, the Mayor and City Council would like to present a proclamation to the organization's Executive Director, Stephanie Parker. So come on up, Stephanie. And we have a bunch of board members and staff here. I know, Tom, you're here. So, Tom, why don't you come up, please? Any other board members present, if you're out there? Who is? Okay. But do we have any staff members here, Stephanie? Well, let's stand up if you're a staff member. You do all the work. We know that. Let's recognize them, please. Well, Stephanie, congratulations. You head up a fabulous, fabulous, and important organization that does great work in here in the community. So why don't you say a few words for us, please?
Thank you. Thank you. And we actually belong to a fantastic team, and that includes our staff as well as community members, our board members, volunteers in the community. And I just want to say that the poster contest was a fine example of one of the things that we do on awareness of missing children's issues. It gave an opportunity for teachers to talk to their students about safety. It gave them dialogue to go home and talk with their parents about child safety. One of the things that we want most of all is not to have missing children. That may not happen, but that's our goal. So we want to say thank you for actually partnering with us. Mayor, City Council, you've partnered with us for 25 years, and we are so appreciative of that.
That's great. Go away. We're going to do a little free promotion here. You've got a special event, or we've got a special event coming up. It's called the Dash and Stroll, and it's March 13th out at the District, which is in that other city that's way over there that we don't recognize. So why don't you do some free promotion of the Dash and Stroll? Tell us what it is and how people can get involved.
Awesome. Great. The Dash and Stroll, 5K Dash, 1 mile stroll, is a race for kids. A race for kids where the community can come out to help support the programs that we implement throughout the community. You can come out and run. You can come out and walk. We'll also have a free party in the park for children with games, entertainment, and child safety information. We encourage everybody to come out. You can go to our website to register. It's www.nevadachildseekers.org. Or you can contact us at the office, 458-7009. And we look forward to seeing everybody out there. I know there's a challenge between the cities as well, right?
Well, as a matter of fact, the Wolfson Warriors, a team that I've put together, we're about 10 strong now, and I hope to double or triple that just in the next couple of weeks. I'm challenging any other elected official, especially on this council, Mr. Ross, to put a team together. Councilman Anthony, Mayor Pro Tem Reese, okay, Councilwoman Tarkanian and Councilman Barlow to come on out there March 13th. It's a lot of fun, too, Stephanie. So congratulations on your 25 years, and keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay, that broke a record. Unbelievable. Another record broken by Councilman Wolfson. Okay, for our final item, Councilman Barlow is going to recognize the efforts of West Las Vegas Advisory Board, and he's going to show Councilman Wolfson how to make a concise, brief, pointed, wonderful presentation. Councilman Barlow.
Ricky, take your time. Take as much time as you want.
Thank you, Mayor and council members. West Las Vegas has a long, proud history, but there is much more that can be done and accomplished in the community. So I have pledged to develop this community through small business, mixed-use communities, improved streetscapes, and community amenities. As a result, I established the West Las Vegas Advisory Board. This board will assist me with engaging citizens' participation, making recommendations to various city departments, and act as a liaison between the community and myself. I extended an invitation to the community through public service announcements, my webpage, and at several community meetings. This was in an effort to invite those interested in having a voice in the development of the West Las Vegas community to apply to serve on the West Las Vegas Advisory Board. I then called on residents, business owners, and the faith-based community to assist me with the selection of individuals to represent the West Las Vegas Advisory Board. Each of these selected individuals bring a wide range of skills, special interests, and uniqueness to improving the quality of life in West Las Vegas. I look forward to working with this board on a variety of issues, including the West Las Vegas Historic School Revitalization and Variety School Rehab, the West Las Vegas Plan, streetscape improvement throughout West Las Vegas, the ZAP Beautification Project, and much, much more. I am proud to congratulate and introduce to the community and my colleagues the 7 members of the West Las Vegas Advisory Board. Starting with the chair, Ms. Kimberly Lyons. Would you please come forward? Vice Chair Anthony Harris. Secretary Jennifer Ellis. Board Member Jamila McMillan Arnold. Board Member Barbara Crockett. Board Member Juan Devereaux. And Board Member Lois Mack, who is unable to be here today, but please give her a round of applause, and the entire West Las Vegas Advisory Board for their commitment to making sure that West Las Vegas remains a proud, progressive, and historic part of this community and representing Ward 5. And at this time, I would like to ask that Ms. Kim Lyons say a few words on behalf of the board.
Thank you, Councilman. It's an honor to have been selected to be on the West Las Vegas Advisory Board, and we are looking forward to working with the councilmen and the citizens of the community and revitalizing this area. It is definitely an honor. Thank you.
You're so welcome. And Mayor, I would be remiss if I didn't mention all the hard work that Harry Williams put into assisting me with establishing the West Las Vegas Advisory Board. So Harry, would you please stand and be recognized for all of your hard work and dedication? And also Tyrone Thompson, thank you so very much. Please stand and be recognized. And to your entire staff at Neighborhood Services for assisting me with making sure that we continue to keep our hands on the pulse with revitalizing the entire Ward 5 community and throughout the city of Las Vegas. Thank you all so very much. And thank you, Mayor.
Good job. Excellent job. Excellent. I hope you learned something, Councilman. No, that's it, but you can learn from Councilman Barlow.
I'm not done yet. I got a couple more to play.
Probably money. I'm serious. I'll bet you there is money in here. It's usually a $2 bill. It's usually a 2. This surprised me. No, it's very pretty. Very pretty. Everyone get the same? I don't think so. Yeah. It's incredible, actually. No, really, it's amazing. Amazing. Well, I guess we're real racist because we have such diversity in our city. No, it's amazing. Oh, I have a meeting this afternoon. Okay, I think we're all set. Okay, item number 10. Any items from the morning session that the council, staff, and or the applicant wish to be held or stricken or held in abeyance to a future meeting may be brought forward and acted upon at this time. Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Your Honor. We have a consent item 28, Class 2 second-hand dealer license. It's mine now, 7450 West Cheyenne Avenue, Suite 104. Staff asked to hold that in advance until our March 3rd, 2010 meeting. Under discussion items, we have item 38 is advanced item, new beer, wine, cooler, off-sale license, Crazy Ely Western Village, doing business at Coyote, 316 Fremont Street. Staff asked that to be held in advance until our March 3rd, 2010 meeting. Item 39 is an alcoholic beverage caterer license, Michael Angelo's Renaissance Catering, 4465 Wagon Trail Avenue. Staff asked that to strike until our March 3rd, 2010 meeting. And item number 40 is a 6-month review of work card to Gregory Floyd. Staff asked to strike. Council members, are there any items at this time that we need to bring forward? Hearing none, Your Honor, make a motion to bring these 4 items forward and take the appropriate action, please.
Thank you. Let's vote on that, please. Post. Motion carries. Boy, that was easy. We've got a new voting system here, which is a touch tone, so it's a new experience for us, and it really worked the first time anyhow. That's great. Item number 11, approval of the final minutes by reference to the City Council meeting of January 20th, 2010.
Thank you, Your Honor. No additions or deletions. I'll make a motion to approve the final minutes of the last meeting, please.
All right, thank you. Let's vote on that, please. Post. Motion carries. Isn't it great, Councilwoman? Even for it's just terrific for idiots, isn't it? I mean, no, I'm not having any problem with it. It's a wonderful thing. Okay, items 12 through 37, with the exception of item 28, are on the consent agenda. They're considered to be routine. They're recommended for approval by the departments and may be enacted in one motion. Are there any items that the council wishes to bring forward at this time?
Yes, Your Honor. I'd like to bring item number 15 forward, please.
15. Ms. Meyer?
Mayor, members of council, that's the one I was coming up for, item 15.
Okay, you wanted that one brought forward?
Yes.
Very good. Are there any other items? All right, seeing none, may I have a motion, please?
Yes, Your Honor. I make a motion to approve items 12 through 37 with the exceptions of 28 and 15. As conditioned, please.
Thank you. Let's vote, please. Post.
Mine don't work.
Motion carries. Thank you. Item 15 is approval of a special event alcoholic beverage license subject to the provisions of the Planning and Fire Codes for the Gypsy Den located at 213 East Colorado Avenue for February 19th, 2010. And the event is an alcohol event, first and third Fridays, art events, and the responsible person in charge is Katie Siwi. What is it again? I'm sorry. I apologize. I should know it by now. Is it Siva?
Siva. Yeah.
Siva? Okay, fine. Yes, folks, be happy to hear from you.
Well, we're basically starting a third Friday, similar to first Friday. This is the second one, so we want to be able to serve alcohol. We have trained bartenders and wristbands.
Thank you. Ms. Meyer?
Again, we would recommend the following conditions on their permit. Number 1, that signs will be posted in the bar area stating purchase of alcohol will require identification, and you must be 21 years old. Number 2, that the wristbands must be utilized and worn by customers who purchase alcohol. Number 3, alcohol sales may only be made at the address at 213 Colorado. And number 4, marketing and advertising for this event is limited to the licensed activities of the Gypsy Den. And with those conditions, we would recommend approval of this.
Fine. Ms. Livek, did you want to be heard?
Yes, please.
Please.
Veronica Litvak. These are my tenants at the Gypsy Caravan Antique Village. They've brought so much to the table there in the Arts District. They've put so much money into it, time into it, heart, love, passion, everything. And during this tough economy, they're making us all down there not feel it so bad. And that's the only way I know how to put it best. What I'd like to see done, though, is instead of them having to come here 6 times to do the same thing over and over and over, I'm asking that there be a code change or a consideration of a code change where people like this who put their time and effort into something that's a good, decent family entertainment, all ages come out to this. It's not just about alcohol, it's about art, music, everything imaginable that brings families out and purchasers, very much unlike First Friday, who is just about entertainment. They bring something more to the table than just that. I'd like to see, and what we're asking for, is that there be a consideration for a code change so that this can be an ongoing event.
Okay, we can't do that today because it's not properly
I'd like to just bring that up so that it's
But
a
this
thought.
is good advertising for them.
So, yeah.
I think they'd like to come down every day and do this. Right?
Sure.
No. Okay. All right, thank you very much. So thanks for coming down, and I'm glad that it's working out. Mayor Pro Tem?
Yes, Your Honor. I make a motion to follow staff's recommendation with all conditions, please.
Thank you. Let's vote on that, please. Post. Motion carries. When's the next event?
This Friday.
This Friday. Very good. And it starts when?
6 p.m.
The address?
213 East Colorado.
Okay, so that
Thank
maybe
you.
we'll get a lot of people down there. Thank you very much.
I'll
We appreciate
send you
it.
a check for that. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, item 41 is bill number 2010-3, adopts an updated population element of the Las Vegas 2020 master plan. Councilman Wilson, do you wish to have it read?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Is Mr. Jerbick here or anybody from his office who would like to read this?
Was Mr. Little in the back room having a conference, Your Honor? I apologize. Commission will read Bill number 2010-3, an ordinance to adopt an updated population element of the Las Vegas 2020 master plan to provide for related matters.
All right, Councilman Wilson, do you have a motion, please?
Yes, my motion is for approval.
Thank you. Let's vote on that, please. Post. Motion carries. Thank you. Item 42 is bill number 2010-4, revises the composition of the Historic Preservation Commission. Councilman, do you wish to have it read?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, Councilman. Bill number 2010-4, an ordinance to revise the composition of the Historic Preservation Commission and provide for related matters.
And Councilman Wilson, your motion, please.
For approval.
Thank you. Let's vote. Post. Motion carries. Item 43 is bill number 2010-5, clarifies the on-site parking requirements applicable to property within the Downtown Entertainment Overlay District and redesignates the Downtown Overlay District as the Downtown Centennial Plan Overlay District. Text 36169 and text 36171. Councilman, do you wish to have it read?
You know, Your Honor, it is the Chinese New Year, so I'd like Mr. Jerbick to read it in Chinese, please.
I would like that very much too, but I would probably have to go home and study a while.
In English would be
With
fine.
their permission, I'll do it the regular way. Bill number 2010-5, an ordinance to clarify the on-site parking requirements applicable to the property with the Downtown Entertainment Overlay District, redesignate the Downtown Overlay District as the Downtown Centennial Plan Overlay District, and provide for related matters.
All right, and your motion, please.
For approval.
Okay, please vote. Post, please. Motion carries. Thank you. Item 44 is bill number 2010-6, amends the city's on-site parking standards to provide minimum dimensions for parallel parking. That's text 36235. Councilman, do you wish to have it read?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bill number 2010-6, an ordinance to amend the city's on-site parking standards, provide for minimum dimensions for parallel parking, provide for related matters.
And your motion, please.
For approval.
Thank you. Post, please. Motion carries. Thank you. Item 45 is bill number 2010-7, excludes the sale of mopeds from the zoning regulations governing the sale of motorized vehicles. Text 36495. Councilman Wilson, wish to have it read?
Yes, Your Honor.
Good.
Thank you, Councilman. Bill number 2010-7, an ordinance to exclude the sale of mopeds from the zoning regulations governing the sale of motorized vehicles and provide for other related matters.
Thanks. And your motion, please.
For approval.
Please vote. Post. Motion carries. Thank you. Item 46 is bill number 2010-8, updates the zoning provisions pertaining to child care facilities to make them consistent with each other and with applicable licensing provisions. It's text 36167. Do you wish to have it read?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Thank you, Councilman. Bill number 2010-8, an ordinance to update the zoning provisions pertaining to child care facilities and make them consistent with each other and applicable licensing provisions and provide for related matters.
And your motion, please.
For approval.
Thank you. Let's vote. Post. Motion carries. Thank you. Items 47 through 50, which are bills 2010-9 through 2010-12, are eligible for adoption at a later meeting. As there are no new bills, we'll move on to item number 51. And Ms. Fretwell, may we go into this session immediately? Sure. All right, and then because of the posting, we won't return from our closed session until 1 o'clock this afternoon for the afternoon calendar. I see some folks out there. I don't know whether they have any business with us at this time. I assume not. All right, then our next item is to go into closed session to discuss labor negotiations. May I have a motion to go into closed session, please?
Yes, sir, Your Honor. Move to go into closed session, please.
All right, thanks. Let's vote on that, please. Post. Motion carries. Thank you. Following the closed-door session, the council meeting will be in recess until 1 p.m. 1 p.m. Incredible.
No.
I'm not the first one that's told you that.
Seriously. You know, she went over to the county and got herself in trouble. But what I'm saying is, he took some guy named Brass that was filling in. He was a filler. He been here a long time. About 95 years old. But anyway, you know I'm on track, right? Mr. Mayor, sir, how are you? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Mr. Reese, how you doing, sir? We do.
Fellas? Sarvos?
What's that?
The mayor
Okay.
wants to start.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. We'll begin with item 52. Any items from the afternoon session that the council, staff, and/or the applicant wish to be stricken or held in abeyance to a future meeting may be brought forward and acted upon at this time. Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Your Honor. We have item number 54 is a public hearing for abatement at 8401 Telescope Peak Court. Staff says to strike. And item 58 is a public hearing for abatement at 121 Valley Ho Avenue. Staff says to hold that in advance until our March 3rd, 2010 meeting. And item 68 and 69, variance 35528 and site development review 35186. Applicant owner, Bodyflying U.S. LLC, commercial recreation amusement use on 0.81 acres on the north side of Sahara Avenue, approximately 440 feet east of 6th Street. The applicants request that to be held in advance until our April the 7th, 2010 meeting. Are there any other items we need to bring forward at this time?
Yes, Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you.
Item number 72, I would like to be held 2 weeks.
Item 72 is SUP 36562, special use permit. It's a public hearing. Applicant Ham Gabby, owner Fremont Associates, Inc., for a packaged liquor off sale establishment with an existing 8,152 square foot retail establishment at 500 Fremont Street. Councilman Barlow's request that to be held in advance until our March 3rd, 2010 meeting. Are there any others? Hearing none, you want to make a motion to bring these 5 items forward, take the appropriate action, please.
Thank you. Let's vote on that, please. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item 53 is a public hearing to consider the report of expenses to recover costs for abatement of nuisance located at 3156 Mediterranean Drive in the amount of $3,990.85 and assess a maximum of $38,050 in daily civil penalties. The property owner is AP Holdings, LLC, and this is in Ward 2. It's a public hearing which is now open. Mr. Smith.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. Devin Smith, Manager of Neighborhood Response. The purpose and background is that the condition of the property was a public hazard and an attractive nuisance. The Department of Neighborhood Services declared the property in violation and started a legal notification. When no corrective action was taken nor an appeal filed, the Department of Neighborhood Services hired American Demolition to remove all graffiti and high vegetation. To date, there have been 8 inspections conducted at this location. The value based on Zillow.com is approximately $182,500. The recommendation is that the City Council approve the report of expenses to include a $799 invoice for American Demolition Services in addition to other fees for a total of $3,990.85 and consider assessing a maximum of $38,050 in daily civil penalties.
Thank you. What is Zillow.com?
It's a program that we go to, and it gives what they call a Zestimate, and it takes surrounding properties that have sold and values in the local area in which you're doing an investigation. It gives you what they call a Zestimate of what they think, because of the sales in the surrounding properties, what the property approximately is worth.
That's very good. Good. Any other questions of Mr. Smith? Okay. As the owner here, AP Holdings, LLC, a representative of the owner? It's a public hearing, folks, if anyone would like to be heard. All right, seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. Councilman Wilson.
Thank you, Mayor Goodman. Mr. Smith, who owns the property now?
I'm sorry.
Who owns the property now?
AP Holdings.
Okay.
It's an LLC.
Okay. Did they take it over from an individual through a foreclosure? And when did they become the property owner?
Let's see. They have been the property owners. Give me one sec. April 23rd of 2008.
Of 2008. Is that what you said?
Yes.
So about a year and a half ago.
Yes.
Almost 2 years ago, actually.
Oh, yeah, almost.
And the proceedings you talked about, the nuisance and the abatement of the nuisance, has occurred since they've been the property owner.
Yes.
And what is the condition of the property now?
Currently, as of the posting of a couple of weeks ago, the property is in fair condition.
Okay.
It has not deteriorated anymore.
Is that because of the efforts by our contractors hired by the city to abate the nuisance, or the owner that's come in and maintained it?
We believe it's because of the efforts of the city and the contractor that we
Basically,
hired.
we cleaned it up.
Yes, we did.
And there hasn't been a lot of overgrown weeds or anything like that.
We'll see with the upcoming months after the rain as it warms up. So.
And what kind of communication have you had with AP Holdings, LLC?
We've sent.
Are they aware of today's proceeding?
3, 4, 5 certified letters and they have received the last one, and the last one went out notifying them of the meeting here today, yes.
Okay, so they signed for the certified, you have the green card in your file?
I do.
So it would be fair to say that they are aware of today's proceeding. Are they aware of the fact that you're asking this council to award the $3,900 and some odd dollars basically to repay the city for the cost of the abatement, plus the potential $38,000 in daily civil penalties? Is
Yes.
that in any of the correspondence which we've sent to them?
The letter that went, and they received this letter last month, and it notifies them that the hearing on February 3rd. I'm sorry, that it would be held on February 3rd, and then we abate it for 2 weeks, and we've had no response from them.
Okay, we obeyed this 2 weeks ago to give you a chance to get in contact with them?
Yes.
And did you try and contact them?
We did.
And how did you try and contact them?
By telephone.
And what happened when you tried to call them?
Mayor Goodman, if I may. Lisa Moore, Civil Deputy Director, Neighborhood Services Department. I did send some correspondence a second time to the law firm that said that this AP Holdings LLC was a active client. We heard nothing either time.
You said you sent correspondence to them?
Sent correspondence, yes.
In the last 2 weeks, you mean, Lisa?
That is correct, sir.
Okay, and you got no response from your letters?
No response.
And Devin, did you say you tried calling as well or not?
We tried calling the last known phone numbers that we had and notified them, as well as, like I said, the letter that went out and said that we would be looking for the assessment of these amounts.
Okay, well, I think we've done all we can at this point to try and get the attention of the property owner to let them know that we're serious, because this council will work with property owners if they're willing to work with us.
Correct.
But it seems that they've ignored us, and if that's what they want to do, then they'll have an opportunity at a later date to potentially come in and ask us to reconsider. But at this time, my motion is to follow your recommendation and order that the $3,990.85 be awarded, and that also that we assess the maximum of $38,050 in daily civil penalties.
That's a motion. Let's vote, please. Post. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you, Devin and Lisa.
Item 55 is a public hearing to consider the report of expenses to recover costs for nuisance abatement located at 236 Chasen Street in the amount of $2,891.50 and assess a maximum of $25,550 in daily civil penalties. The property owner is Lydia M. Medina, and this is in Ward 1. It's a public hearing, which I now declare open.
Again, Mayor and Council, Devin Smith, Manager of Neighborhood Response. The purpose and background to the condition of the property was a public hazard and an attractive nuisance. The Department of Neighborhood Services declared the property in violation and started legal notification. When no corrective action was taken nor an appeal filed, the Department of Neighborhood Services hired Blast Janitorial Service to remove all trash and hide dead vegetation. To date, there have been 7 inspections conducted at this location. The value of the property based on the sale date of December 2005 was $325,000. The recommendation is that the City Council approve the report of expenses to include a $450 invoice for Blast Janitorial Services in addition to other fees for a total of $2,891.50 and consider assessing a maximum of $25,550 in daily civil penalties.
Thank you. Any questions of Mr. Smith? Is a property owner here, Lydia Medina, or a representative? All right, folks, the public hearing, if you'd like to be heard.
Make it real swift. You had a man that named
You have
McGovern,
to, please.
when he was living, okay, Mr. Mayor, I know you want to move right along.
No, we have to identify yourself.
But, do I really? My name is Anthony Hodge. I live on 123 David, probably the most popular address on the planet, whatever. But anyway, all I want to say is that on 54, I know you went on by it. Did the bank pay y'all on 54?
54 was evade.
It was about a bank.
That'll be
All right,
heard,
no problem.
heard at some later
All
time.
right, and then I know that the person is not here on 55, so but I was going to come on 55 to go back to 54, so I apologize. I'm sorry.
No problem. All right, anybody else like to be heard? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. Councilwoman Tarkanian.
Yes,
You have, I'm assuming, so I'm asking to be sure, followed through in attempting to contact this woman?
We have 5 return green cards from certified letters contacting this person.
That it was received?
Yes.
You know, it might be good if we just point out for the viewing audience that the pictures that were seen at the end of the number of pictures were after the improvements were made.
That is correct.
Am I correct? Because all of a sudden I started seeing some really good pictures, and I want to point out for those who are watching. I would move that we follow through with what is necessary for to cover the cost of the city, to clean up the property, and that we ask for 5% of the civil penalties.
5% of the $25,550?
Yes.
All right. That'd be $1,275. Okay. That's the motion. Let's vote, please. Post? Motion carries. Thank you. Item 56 is a public hearing to consider the report of expenses to recover costs for nuisance abatement regarding dangerous building located at 1908 Teresa Avenue in the amount of $1,645 and assess a maximum of $32,550 in daily civil penalties. The property owner is Jose Alfredo Rodriguez, and this is in Ward 3. It's a public hearing which is now open. Mr. Smith?
Again, Mayor and Council, Devin Smith, Manager of Neighborhood Response. The purpose and background is that the condition of the property was a public hazard and an attractive nuisance. The Department of Neighborhood Services declared the property in violation and started a legal notification. When no corrective action was taken nor an appeal filed, the Department of Neighborhood Services hired Lunas Construction to secure side door and any open windows, remove all trash, and paint over graffiti. To date, there have been 6 inspections conducted at this location. The value of the property based on the sale date of November 2005 was $232,000. The recommendation is that the City Council approve the report of expenses to include a $580 invoice for Lunas Construction Services, in addition to other fees for a total of $1,645, and consider assessing a maximum of $32,550 in daily civil penalties.
Thank you. Any questions to Mr. Smith? All right. Is the property owner here, Jose Alfredo Rodriguez? Anybody on Mr. Rodriguez's behalf? All right, folks, it's a public hearing. If anyone would like to be heard.
And Mayor, just as the gentleman comes to speak on this item, I do have a question, point of clarification for Mr. Smith. The daily civil penalties that are incurred, when we receive those funds, where is that money? Where does that money go? What specific fund?
I believe it goes back into the general fund.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, that's correct. All right. Yes, sir. Did you want to be heard?
Yes. The question is, the last name is Rodriguez or whatever. Sometime, are you able to try to reach that person in any form, by letter form, telegram, or whatever? Because a lot of times these people, they may not speak a lot of English or whatever, or maybe they just ran off and left the property. I don't know. Whatever. But this is less than $2,000. You know, it's not a fortune. So is this person tried to reach as best y'all could, or what?
What we do is we go through all of the records that we can, the sewer records, tax records, any other utility records that we can find, attempt to track the person down, send certified and regular mail. On many of these cases, it just appears people are walking away.
Just unreachable.
Unreachable.
Okay, I'm sorry. Thank you.
All right. Anybody else like to be heard? Public hearing? All right, we'll close the public hearing then. Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would follow staff's recommendation for assessing them the $1,645. I would like to assess the maximum daily civil penalties of $32,550.
Okay, that's the motion. Let's vote, please. Post. Motion carries. Thank you.
Your Honor?
Yes.
If I may, on agenda item 55, I'll let the city clerk correct the record as my vote was an affirmative with Councilwoman Tarkanian, please.
Very good. Thank you.
Your Honor, also on that item, we probably need to correct a little bit on the math. There was $1,277.50.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right. Item 57 is a public hearing to consider the report of expenses to recover costs for nuisance abatement regarding dangerous building located at 1218 South 15th Street in the amount of $2,762.75 and assess a maximum of $32,050 and daily civil penalties. The property owner is Bank New York Mellon, TRS. This is in Ward 3. It's a public hearing which is now open.
Again, Mayor and Council, Devin Smith, Manager of Neighborhood Response. The purpose and background as to the condition of the property was a public hazard and an attractive nuisance. The Department of Neighborhood Services declared the property in violation and started legal notification. When no corrective action was taken or an appeal filed, the Department of Neighborhood Services hired Lunas Construction to remove all illegal sheds and exterior accessory structures, remove all trash and high vegetation, and spray front yard with herbicide. To date, there have been 7 inspections conducted at this location. The value of the property based on the sale date of September 2009 was $64,450. The recommendation is that the City Council approve the report of expenses to include a $945 invoice for Lunas Construction Services, in addition to other fees, for a total of $2,762.75, and consider assessing a maximum of $32,050 in daily civil penalties.
All right, thank you. Any questions of Mr. Smith? Okay, you never heard back from the bank?
Good afternoon, Mayor. Staff spoke to a representative from Starosky PC and Associates Debt Collectors. We were advised by Bank of New York Mellon that the property had been transferred to them. We spoke with them on February 10, 2010, provided a copy of the hearing notice and report of expenses, advised that a payment needed to be made by February 16th or a representative needed to be present at this hearing, and the owner was further advised that failure to make a payment or appear before the City Council could result in the daily civil penalties. We haven't heard anything.
All right, thank you very much. All right, is any representative from the bank here today? Bank New York Mellon, TRS? All right, it's a public hearing if anyone would like to be heard.
Mr. Mayor, you know I got to speak on this as a bank. Now, they need to bring you all your money. I don't know what's going on with that bank, okay? If it's a bank, I mean, they're guilty. They need to come bring you your money. So that's the only reason I'm speaking. You talk about a bank, and that's very important. If they can't pay you, who can? Even if they ain't got but $1.98 left, give you that. I'm sorry.
Anybody else like to be heard? All right, we'll close the public hearing then. Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Your Honor. I move to follow staff's recommendation for the $2,762.75, and I would like to assess a maximum of $32,050 in daily civil penalties.
Thank you. Let's vote on that, please. Post. Motion carries. Thank you. Item 59 is a public hearing to consider the report of expenses to recover costs for nuisance abatement located at 3824 Sunking Street in the amount of $3,848.25 and assess a maximum of $34,550 in daily civil penalties. The property owner is Autumn Cottage Equities, LLC, and this is in Ward 6. Mr. Smith?
Again, Mayor and Council, Devin Smith, Manager of Neighborhood Response. The purpose and background is the condition of the property was a public hazard and an attractive nuisance. The Department of Neighborhood Services declared the property in violation and started legal notification. When no corrective action was taken nor appeal filed, the Department of Neighborhood Services hired American Demolition to secure shed and remove all trash and high dead vegetation. To date, there have been 8 inspections conducted at this location. The value of the property based on the sale date of December 2009 was $157,000. The recommendation is that the City Council approve the report of expenses to include a $675 invoice for American Demolition Services in addition to other fees for a total of $3,848.25 and consider assessing a maximum of $34,550 in daily civil penalties.
All right, thank you. This is a public hearing which is open. But before we get there, Mr. Smith, any questions for Mr. Smith? All right. Are you representing Autumn Cottage Equities?
Yes, sir, Mr.
Please
Mayor.
identify yourself.
I'm Justin Bruni with Autumn Cottage Equities.
Okay. Be happy to hear from you, sir.
Pleased to be here, Mr. Mayor, Council. We purchased this property at the foreclosure auction dated November 9th, 2009. The first notice that we got of this abatement was February 11th, in which we were informed we had to come here to speak on this behalf. We listed the property for sale January 7th of 2010. The property was cleaned up. We turned them really quick. Cleaned up to best of our abilities. Put it in escrow a couple weeks later, and it's currently in escrow now under our thing. I would like to pay for whatever Neighborhood Services did. Whatever that amount is, I'd like to see a ledger of the cost if that's a reasonable request.
Certainly a reasonable request.
I mean, I'd definitely like to pay for what work was done.
All right, that's a reasonable request. Anybody else would like to be heard at this time? All right, Councilman Ross.
Thank you, sir. Devin, would you provide him the bills on that property for cleaning that up? What cleanup did you have to do when you went in there, since we already cleaned it up?
It was actually a great deal for us.
I see that.
No, I'm kidding. No, new paint, new carpet, the pool up and running, landscaping. Got photos of it as well. If you'd like.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of photos here myself. That's a beautiful house in a great neighborhood. So
Really
I'm glad
is,
you guys picked it up. It's good to see and recognize for us as council members that you're here to talk about this, because you see these other homes and how we feel about these bank-owned properties when we get no responses.
Absolutely.
And we're spending man-hours and taxpayer money trying to get these properties cleaned up. So it's good to see you here. So, Your Honor, are you prepared to pay that as soon as possible, as soon as those documents?
Absolutely.
Devin, if you'd work with him and get his check before he leaves the building.
I will do that.
Your Honor, I move to follow staff's recommendations to receive the $3,848.25 and to waive the daily civil penalties on item 59.
Very good. Let's vote, please. Post. Motion carries. Thank you.
Your Honor,
Yes.
if I may, I would like to put have some kind of deadline put on this to when this payment would be made, so that we have something to go back on if for some reason payment is
Fine. What do you suggest? After you see the expenditures, when would the check be here?
Same day as I see the ledger or next day.
Okay, it's by the end of this week then. Very good.
That's my motion amended.
Very good, and that's the vote. Okay, item number 60 is a public hearing to consider the report of expenses to recover costs for abatement of nuisance of vacant lot located behind Glen Landing Avenue in the amount of $3,401 and assess a maximum of $45,050 in daily civil penalties. The property owner is Silver Dollar Land Company, LLC, and this is in Ward 6. It's a public hearing which is now open.
Again, Mayor and Council, Devin Smith, Manager of Neighborhood Response. The purpose and background as to the condition of the property was a public hazard and an attractive nuisance. The Department
Excuse
of
me, pardon me. You're going to stick around to look at the records, I'm sure.
I'm sorry, I didn't know you had it on.
Oh, he'll take good care of you, right? You're not getting away that easy. We're going to have a check by Friday, okay?
Thank you.
No excuses. All right. Go ahead, Mr. Smith.
Okay. The Department of Neighborhood Services declared the property in violation and started legal notification. When no corrective action was taken or an appeal filed, the Department of Neighborhood Services hired Disaster Cleanup of Nevada to remove all trash and high vegetation. To date, there have been 7 inspections conducted at this location. The value of the property is not available. The recommendation is that the City Council approve the report of expenses to include a $1,500 invoice for Disaster Cleanup of Nevada services, in addition to other fees for a total of $3,401, and consider assessing a maximum of $45,050 in daily civil penalties.
All right, thank you. Any questions of Mr. Smith? Folks, anybody from Silver Dollar Land Company, LLC? It's a public hearing if anyone would like to be heard.
These people even got a powerful name, Silver Dollar and all that stuff. Well, why don't Silver Dollar come on down here and give you all your money? I mean, some of these situations are pretty ridiculous. And they say there's a landholder right there. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So somebody got some money somewhere. All I'm trying to do is I just hope you can collect, okay? But get on their back and ride them like a bad horse, okay? Thanks.
Anybody else like to be heard? All right, seeing none, we'll close the public hearing then. This is Councilman Ross.
Thank you, Your Honor. This has been a problem child for me for quite some time, and Devin, you know that. And I don't anticipate it going away anytime soon. These people have been non-responsive. They've ignored all of our pleas for them to take care of their property, and I expect more of these in the Northwest because of some vacant parcels and people ignoring them. This property, you didn't show all the garbage in the dump. People are using it as a dump, essentially, and we had to send people out there to clean it up. So, Your Honor, on agenda item 60, I would like to incur the $3,401 as well as the full civil penalties of $45,050 on that property.
Very good. That's the motion. Let's vote. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. 61 is a public hearing to consider a request for a waiver and reduction of fees for the property located as 1211 Eastwood Drive in the amount of $50,540. The property owner is DLJ Mortgage Capital, Inc. This is in Ward 3. It's a public hearing, which is now open. Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. Greg Weil on behalf of the movement. It's actually a Wells Fargo property. They are the ones that are managing this and servicing the loan. If I could, Wells Fargo is very involved in the community, both their banking division and their mortgage division, attempting to make loans in this valley and also during this foreclosure crisis that we have. And to borrow a motto from the motel industry or hotel industry, they want to get heads in beds. They want to sell this property and get somebody in there. But there's this $50,000 lien on the property. It's actually approximately $62,000, but you'll see from the packet I gave you, I brought each council member a packet showing that $11,388.75 was paid approximately 6 or 7 days after the hearing, November 19th, 2008, when the $50,000 civil penalty was assessed. And if I could refer to, if I could do this real quick, or should I let this gentleman go first? I wasn't thinking.
No, you're fine.
There was a foreclosure of the property in late 2007, at which time my client gave the property over to Mr. Dan Woolston, who's with me today. He'd be glad to answer any questions you might have. And again, the first set of pictures is what he came upon when he took the property over. There was some graffiti, and he set out to clean the property off. Again, the second page is the interior. You can see that it was quite a mess. Now, the third page shows the interior after the property was cleaned. If the council will note that the property was boarded up, and I know it wasn't bars as the new requirement is, but it was boarded up according to the old requirement, and that was with carriage bolts, with the bolts being tightened from the interior so people couldn't break in. You can see that from the photo in the top left-hand corner. If I could, this next photo just shows that April 28, 2008, the property was kept clean. This is a request that isn't made after my client ignored the council or the letters. This isn't a property that's been ignored as far as trash and weeds. They had an agent involved. What happened is corporate just wasn't communicating with Mr. Woolston as far as the letters they were receiving. But again, Mr. Woolston was maintaining the property. The next pictures show that June of 2009 there was a graffiti problem. Mr. Wilson set out to have that fixed, and it was fixed. You can see the follow-up photo in July. Again, in October, the property was in good condition. And these are just periodic pictures that he took and sent to who he reported. Again, if you look at this, these homeowners were in bankruptcy all during this time. My client finally concluded the foreclosure and became the owner again in 2007. There is, in addition to the $50,000 civil penalty, there's 3 invoices of $180 each, and those were all sent to the previous owner. When I became involved in the case, I obtained a receipt from the city. I'm not sure if the camera can pick that up, but I do have a copy for each one of you.
There you go.
Again, there were some invoices that went out in October of 2008, 2 back-to-back that went out the 15th and 16th of October. Those were paid on November 25th. Again, after speaking with my client, assure you that those checks were mailed out within 30 days of receiving those invoices. Again, the next 3 invoices are the ones that went to the prior owners. I've included those as well. And then there is the invoice on December 16th of 2008 for $50,000. I might add that before the lien was recorded, everything was paid except for the $50,000 civil penalty. Again, corporate thought that this was taken care of, and Mr. Wilson, the agent on the ground here, didn't know about these proceedings. With that, we ask that you, again, waive this penalty. My clients value the property at approximately $50,000. They were stuck with the cost to clean it up, as well as approximately $8,400 in back taxes. They did have a property, they did have a sale in escrow, and that's when they first found out about the lien that was recorded against the property. I'm not sure if you have any other questions, but again, we ask that you help Wells Fargo be a good citizen and get people in that home.
Thank you. Can we hear from Devin?
Yes.
Yes, Your Honor, if I may. One of the things I want to clarify that there is still an outstanding balance on the abatement fees of $540. There have been payments made a total of $19,065.60, which leaves a remaining abatement fee owed of $540, and then the remaining daily civil penalties are the $50,000.
Thank you.
And again, city staff, Devin, can you explain to these nice people here, how long have we been fighting this battle down at this location?
The case was approximately 26 months is how long we were dealing with this location.
And I can certainly appreciate, when you come aboard and what happens down there at these properties, but we have people that live around this, in these neighborhoods, that fight this each and every day. And like I say, I can certainly sympathize with the new owner, Wells Fargo. I understand what they're the good citizens, the gentleman behind you. I appreciate what he's done. But I feel really, really strongly about these civil penalties. Until we start putting these civil penalties on these properties, we weren't getting any action at all from the new property owners or the old property owners, either one. And so I feel like that we have to continue to address each and every issue. You see how many here we've heard today. And it's like this every council meeting. It's the same stuff. And we continue to do everything we can possibly do to contact the previous owner and or the new owners. And we do work with those people that we get hold of and try to get the properties cleaned up and keep them clean.
If I could just make a brief comment about that. I don't believe he's been working with my clients for 26 months. I know that
I didn't say your clients, sir. I said the property itself.
I understand. The debtors were in bankruptcy, and I was actually the one that was hired to get this property out of bankruptcy. Their bankruptcy was finally terminated November of 2009. Mm-hmm. So I understand the city's frustration in fighting with this property. But again, it wasn't tall weeds. It wasn't trash. This is strictly bars put on the window. When my client, their agent on the ground again, thought that the boarding up was sufficient, again, the carriage bolts and the way the statute used to read. And so I know that the city hasn't been wrangling with my client for 26 months.
I didn't say that, sir.
Okay.
Councilor Ross?
If I can, Your Honor, and Mayor Pro Tem, with your permission. It's not you guys. We are extremely frustrated with the lack of cooperation from lenders and banks who consistently ignore the city of Las Vegas when it comes to properties like this. It's not you or your client. You weren't part of the game then. Mm-hmm. Now you are, and of course you're here, which is great. But we're frustrated because of this, because our teams are out there doing what's right to take care of our neighborhoods, and lending companies and banks and mortgage companies, they don't care. They just ignore us. They think, let the next guy take care of it. You're the next guy.
All right.
Unfortunately. But I don't know how we can send a clear message to the industry that we're not going to tolerate this.
Well, again, these payments were paid within the 30-day period after they received the invoice. I hope that you wouldn't punish Wells Fargo. I heard the names read today. I didn't hear anything that Wells Fargo's been on board for.
Your Honor, I can take care of this in a hurry.
All right.
How much do they still owe us, Devin?
$540.
$540 in the remaining abatement fees, and then there's the outstanding $50,000 in the daily civils.
Yeah. I will waive a portion of that civil penalty. I still think we ought to get $5,000 for it anyhow. So I would subtract the $45,540 and leave a balance of $5,000.
Plus the $540 includes
yes.
the $540.
Mm-hmm.
I'll make sure you get a check by the end of the week.
Thank you, sir.
Right. Thank you.
If I could, I need to talk to my client, but it's late in the week, but I'll make sure that's paid within 10 days.
All right, we appreciate that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. That's my motion.
Thank you. All right, this is a motion. Let's vote. Post. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. 62 is a public hearing to consider a request for a waiver and or reduction of fees for the property located at 2700 Brienza Way in the amount of $8,405. The property owner is Ebertco LLC. This is in Ward 2. It's a public hearing which is now open.
Your Honor, as you said, this is a request for a reduction in the fees. The applicant was Mr. Levine. He's requesting a waiver of $16,900. This duration of this case was June 22nd June 22nd of 06 through May 5th of 2008, approximately 11 months. When these fines were put in place, we had very little or no cooperation from the property owner. Total assessed was $16,926.85. Amounts that have been paid is $8,521.85. There is a total balance owed of $8,405. $7,000 of the remaining is $7,000 in daily civil penalties.
Okay. Any questions of Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, just for clarification, Mayor Goodman, Mr. Smith, when the council first heard these matters on the two dates in question, November of 06 and July of 07, we then assessed $16,926.85.
Correct.
Did that include the civil penalties?
Yes, it did.
What portion were the civil penalties?
Daily civil penalties were $7,000.
Okay, so $7,000.
Yes, and there is a remaining balance just in the abatement fees. Remaining abatement fees that are due are $1,405, and then $7,000 of that are the daily civils.
1,405 of the 7 are abatement fees. 1,405 of the 7,000.
No, sir. $1,405 of the remaining balance of $8,405.
Gotcha. Okay, so there's 1,405 owed plus the 7,000 in the civil penalties.
That is correct.
Okay. The last question I have for you, Mr. Smith, is the request for the waiver. And are you Mr. Levine by any chance?
Yes.
The request for the waiver, which was signed by Mr. Levine, was dated May of 09. I don't know when it was submitted to the city. When would that request have been submitted to the city?
Shortly after that.
So do you know what my next question is going to be?
Why is it just now we're getting this before council? When this process first started, we really didn't have a policy in place to go about waiving the civil penalties. So we met with council with the city attorney's office, and we derived a policy and a procedure of how we would need to bring this back before council to have these civil penalties addressed and waived. And that took some time. And then because of the December and the backup of some of the council meetings, once we got the process down, figured out how we would do it, how to put it back on the agenda, we're just kind of started the last few meetings starting to get back on to where we're getting these back before the council.
Okay. And do we have that process and procedure in place?
We do.
So today, if a Mr. Levine were to file a request for a waiver and or reduction of civil penalties, if that form, because it's a 1 or 2 page form.
Correct.
Although I do notice the last applicant had attachments and pictures and all that, but the form itself's a couple pages.
Correct.
If that form were filed today, how soon would it be before the council?
I would say because of the backup on the agenda items that we have and some of these that will be coming forward, from the time we actually receive it, I would say anywhere from 60 to 90 days before it would be.
Okay. Well, it's 2 to 3 months versus the 10 months or so. Those are all the questions I have for Mr. Smith.
Very good. Sir, would you like to be heard? Please identify yourself for the record.
Okay. I'm R.F. Levine, and I'm the should I continue? R.F. Levine.
Right.
Okay. Robert. Is it time to continue?
Please.
Okay. I'm the officer of a T-Tiny company. It's an LLC that only has this one property that bought it 2700 Brienza at the last tax deed sale of 09, and it holds the deed. We rented it in June to a small family. The house rent barely pays the monthly house note, plus the property tax, plus the insurance, plus the maintenance. We had to remove a homeless person living there. It needed a lot of cleanup and fix-up. We paid about $35,000 over some 4 months. We had no knowledge of your $17,000 lien. When notified in early summer of '09, we were still fixing up the home, but we dug deep and promptly paid a little over half and requested this waiver that we've heard nothing about.
Okay. All right. Any questions of Mr. Levine? All right, folks, the public hearing, if anyone would like to be heard. Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. Councilor Wilson.
Thank you, Mayor Goodman. Mr. Levine, your company owns the house,
The company, yes.
okay? And you have renters in the house,
Yes.
okay? And the house is in a pretty nice neighborhood, is it not?
Yes.
Are you keeping up the condition of the property?
Yeah. Well, that's primarily left to the renter, but I mean.
Okay, fair enough. Are they keeping it up?
Yes.
Are they keeping it up in good condition?
Yes.
If I were to drive through, this is on a cul-de-sac, is it not?
Yes.
If I were to drive through this street and the cul-de-sac, would this house stand out in any way compared to the other houses?
No, sir.
Okay. And you've paid $8,500 and change already, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Towards the fees that the city had to pay to correct the problems, is that right?
Yes, sir. And
Okay.
we paid that promptly after receiving notice of it.
And then I guess my last question is, like I said before, you filed your request for a waiver of these fees back in May of last year, and here we are in
Correct.
February. What did you think was happening this last 10 months?
I've called I've called multiple times, and basically I can't remember what I was told, but basically I was told, wait.
Okay. I know you talked to one of my staff persons, Audrey,
Correct.
in the last couple of weeks, but
Correct.
okay. Well, do you understand why it took so long? This is kind of new to the city of Las Vegas because of all the foreclosures and all the problems and the daily civil penalties, and now people are coming forward asking us to waive these fees. So we didn't really have a process in place. It was almost like putting the cart before the horse. We're going to impose these fees, but what happens when the people want us to waive the fees? We didn't have a process in place, so I'm glad to see that we have the process in place so that in the future it'll be handled a little bit more expeditiously. My concern is that the property be maintained and that you do your best to have somebody living in the home. So will you promise to me to make your best efforts to maintain those things?
I understand, yes, sir.
Okay. I'm going to make a motion to grant your request to waive these. I want the $1,405 paid because I think that those were those out-of-pocket expenses, Mr. Smith?
Yeah, $1,450 were for the partial cleanup, staff's time, office staff's time for going out and doing the inspections on the property, and those were costs that the city incurred.
Okay, I think that that's fair to ask that you pay for that $1,450. But I'm willing to include in my motion that we waive the $7,000 in civil penalties. So do I need to put a time frame on that, Mr. Smith? If we ask this gentleman to pay it at $250 a month, is that something you could do, sir?
Yes.
$250 a month?
Yes, it is. However, I'm not my companies are not wealthy because
Sure.
I think I told you we had to dig deep to do these payments. But we don't like to make payments. We like to pay. And
You want to write a check for $1,450 today?
well, I can't do it right today, but yes, sir.
Will you do it in 30 days?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Your
my
Honor, if I may, I'm sorry, it was $1,405, my
okay.
mistake.
Yeah, I thought you said $1,405.
I did. I was looking at a different number. It is $1,405.
We just saved you $45, Mr. Levine. If he keeps talking, it might get lower.
I believe, and I have it here. I have to look it up. Was the $8,500 or so that I already paid? Could that be included in that $1,400 that you just said?
No.
Okay.
No. So what I want to do is recoup the out-of-pocket expenses and the labor costs that the city had to put out because of this problem. But the additional $7,000 in civil penalties, in other words, a penalty because we couldn't get your attention, I'm willing to waive.
I understand.
So my motion is that we require you to pay $1,405 within 30 days and that we waive the $7,000 in civil penalties. Is that stated accurately, Mr. Smith?
Correct. Was that make a first payment or to pay the entire
No,
thing?
he said he wants to pay it off, so he's going to pay $1,405 within 30 days.
Correct.
Okay.
right, that's the motion.
Excuse me,
Let's
Mayor
vote.
and Council, if I could add to that, if he doesn't pay it, then maybe we should just go ahead and authorize Mr. Smith to place the lien on the property also.
If he doesn't pay it, my motion would be for Mr. Smith to bring it back to my attention for further proceedings. You don't want that to happen.
Correct. Let's vote, please. Post. Motion carries. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Smith.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, items 63 through 65 are on the consent agenda. They're considered to be routine. They're recommended for approval by the Department of Planning and Development. May I have a motion, please, to approve the consent agenda, items 63 through 65?
So moved with all conditions, Your Honor.
Thank you. Let's vote on that, please. Post. Motion carries. Thank you. Items 66 and 67. 66 is RQR 36890. This is a request for a required review of a previously approved special use permit that allowed a 1,200 square foot expansion of an existing massage establishment with a waiver of the minimum 1,000-foot separation requirement from 3 existing massage establishments. 67 is ROC 36892, request for a review of condition number 5 to allow 24-hour operations for a massage establishment. The applicant is Douglas R. Wingo, and the owner is Chetak Development, Inc. The project is located at 2212 Paradise Road. The staff recommends denial of both items. These items are in Ward 3 and are public hearings, which are now declared open. Yes, sir.
Yes, my name is Douglas Wingo, 7514 Longhorn Lodge Avenue, Las Vegas, Nevada. And I was put off on abatement so my case could be discussed last month, and I've been put off at least 4 times during the month, and nobody, well, Councilman Reese refused to discuss anything with me during the month.
Okay, what do you have to say?
Well, I wanted to discuss the case and have somebody
This
hear
is the
what's
time to
going
do
on.
it, because we're all here to do our best job to see that the appropriate result is found. So this is your chance to talk to us.
Okay. First off, my store shouldn't have been closed down because of the prostitution cases that were put in against my wife. She's the sole person who was busted for the solicitation charges. Usually when somebody is busted, it's just that person who is removed from the store, not the store being shut down and things happening to the store. It's been put against the store. From the opening of my store, Councilman Reese has been against me and the store. First, restricting the hours 9 to 5, and then after 6 months review, he only wanted me to be open from 9 to 9. And the rest of the council said, no, let it go to 24 hours. And that was the way it went.
I wasn't there, I guess.
Well, it went to 24 hours then. But then everything else was built up around it. I have put all of my money that I've made from my store back into my store. All my savings, everything that I have, goes back into my store. I'm a disabled American veteran from the Marine Corps, and everything that I had in my savings went to my store.
Do you if I could, your
Certainly.
Do you run the store yourself?
Yes, I'm the manager on site right now. I'm there 4.5 hours for this.
4.5 hours out of say 24 hours.
No, if it was 24 hours, I would have to be there 8 hours. But because we're only open,
Who's running it when you're not there? Who's in charge of the place when you're not there?
it's just the girls.
You have no manager of the store when you're not there?
I'm the manager for 1/3 of the time that the store is open.
And we don't have a person in charge while
The
you're not there?
requirement is that there should be a manager on site 1/3 of the time that the store is open, and that's me.
Okay. Mr. DiFiore?
Jim DiFiore, Manager of Business Services.
Is this true what he's saying, that there's only supposed to be a manager there 1/3 of the time?
If he is the owner and he's there at least 1/3 of the time. Now, this is on essentially a regular business which has normal business hours, and his business hours today are 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. And going to 24-hour, and his request for 24 hours, he would need to be there a longer period of time. But on record, we have his wife, Yumin Han Wingo, as the key employee. She is the one that has been through the investigation. She is the one that's designated as a key employee. This information that he's presenting today is the first time I've been made aware of that he is actually the manager in charge.
Your wife no longer works there?
No.
Is she
Because
on
of the
site?
solicitation charges and everything else,
Is she on site?
no longer works there.
Is she on site at all?
No.
Okay, Your Honor.
But because we're only open 9 a.m. to 11 p.m., I only have to be there 4.5 hours a day.
Is she going to? If we allow you to go 24 hours, does that mean that she's going to be back working there?
Well, if we can get that open again, I haven't asked for 24 hours. What I have asked for is an extension to 3 a.m. in the morning. That's what the request was for in my.
It says here, a request for review condition number 5 to allow a 24-hour operation for a massage establishment.
I don't know where the Planning Commission came up with that in the hardship letter that I wrote.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your Honor, I move to, on item 66, I would move for approval of that item.
Okay, let's vote. Post.
And on item number 67, Your Honor, I make a motion to allow Mr. Wingo to operate from 9 o'clock in the morning till 3 o'clock in the morning. That's what he's asking here today, from 9 a.m. to 3 a.m. in the morning. I will make a motion to allow him to do that, not following staff's recommendation for denial of this item. You see here we have Mr. DiFiore as well as Mr. Jervik. If there's any problems at this location at all, I'm going to ask them to come over and see you post haste.
Yes, sir.
And so that's not a threat. That's just telling you. I don't want any problems over there.
Okay.
That's my motion, Your Honor.
Okay, it doesn't sound like you don't like them. Let's vote, please.
If I may, that
Yes.
would be, Mayor Pro Tem, on this ROC on which you're about to vote, then the condition number 2 here would be that condition number 5 shall be amended to read, a waiver shall be granted to allow business operations to be 9 a.m. to 3 a.m.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right.
Because the
That's
majority.
Whoa. You are way ahead of the game.
Yeah.
Okay. Shall we vote again, or do you have the vote on that? We better vote again. Let's re-vote it. Post.
66 or 67?
67.
67. Okay, post, please. Motion carries. All right, good luck to you.
Your new time is from 9 a.m. to 3 a.m.
Okay.
And if I may, just to be sure, on number 66, the condition that we proposed is that there will be another one-year review.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good luck.
Thank you all.
Mayor Pro Tem's getting...
No, I got 2.
Okay, items 70 and 71. 70 is VAR 36808. Request for variance to allow 551 parking spaces where 555 spaces are required for a proposed 120-square-foot auto smog check. 71 is SUP 36809. Request for a special use permit for a proposed 120-square-foot auto smog check with no stacking line. The applicant is the Smog Shop, LLC, and the owners are James E. Bracken and Nancy Bracken. The project is located on a portion of 18.07 of acres at the northwest corner of Rancho Drive and Alexander Road. The address is 4005 North Rancho Drive. The Planning Commission recommends approval, and staff recommends a denial of both items. These items are in Ward 6. They're public hearings which are now declared open. Are you representing the applicant?
Yes, sir.
Please identify yourself.
My name is Dawn Young. My address is 5888 Castleberry Peak in Las Vegas. And I'm the owner of the Smog Shop. Where we plan to put the Smog Shop is at the Corner Market, which is owned by James and Nancy Bracken, who are retired.
I see. Okay.
Okay. We have a 120 square foot building that we intend to put.
Have to speak into the mic.
120 square foot building, which takes 1.5 parking spots, or 2, out of 550 parking spots in this entire subdivision. The parking lot of the gas station where we would like to be located has 22 parking spots, and so we would be taking 2 of those.
All right.
So my argument is that over 18 acres and 550 parking spots, 2 parking spots is nothing.
Okay. Are there any questions of the young lady? Folks, public hearing if you'd like to be heard.
This is one of those kind of where you got planning and the staff kind of split, you know, the one's against it, one's for it, whatever. So I always tell you that you got your work cut out, so that's all I got.
Anybody else like to be heard? Public hearing? All right, seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. Councilman Ross?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mayor,
yes.
Mayor, Councilman Ross, if you don't mind, real quick, I just would like to disclose that I have just a disclosure that I'm an acquaintance to the principals of this item. However, I have not spoken to them in regards to this, so I just wanted to just disclose that. However, it would not impede my ability to vote on this item.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilman Ross.
Thank you, Your Honor. You going to put a couple of people to work?
Yes, sir.
You going to help stimulate our economy with a new business in the Northwest?
I hope so.
Hurry
Yes,
every
sir.
chance you get. Your Honor, I'm going to move to follow Planning Commission's recommendation for approval on agenda item 70.
Very good. Let's vote, please. Post. Motion carries.
And likewise on 71, good luck. Move to follow Planning Commission's recommendation for approval.
Thank you. Let's vote. Post. Motion carries. Good luck to you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Item 73 is SUP 36779, special use permit, a public hearing. The applicant is Nevada City Partners, LLC. The owner is Pack Prop Service, LLC. Request for a special use permit for a proposed beer and wine cooler off-sale establishment within an existing 2,032 square foot convenience store and a waiver to allow a 120-foot distance separation from a child care facility where 400 feet is required at 4401 East Bonanza Road. This is in Ward 3. The staff recommends denial. The Planning Commission recommends approval. This is a public hearing which is now declared open. Okay, who would like to speak? We've got a lineup here.
Good afternoon, Jennifer Roberts of Lionel Sawyer and Collins, 300 South 4th Street. I'm here with the majority owner of Nevada City Partners, Bruce Vermillion, and we're here to not only request approval of the special use permit. This is for a convenience store that's currently vacant. It's boarded up. It was the old Albertsons Express, and so we're looking to operate a city stop, which would be, I believe, the 3rd or 4th in the city of Las Vegas. And the reason I'm making this appearance also is to request waiver of the of 2 of the conditions that were approved by the Planning Commission. After the approval, we did some research on the convenience stores that were located in the area. There's 2 convenience stores on that same corner of Bonanza and Lamb, and found that they did not have similar conditions, or found that they were able to sell alcohol in single configurations and at a higher alcohol volume. And so we felt that we would come and appear and ask that those conditions be waived, because it would put us at an economic disadvantage otherwise in competition with those 2 other convenience stores if we had these conditions imposed. So that is our request. We are There is a daycare that's located across the street from Lamb, but it's separated by Lamb Boulevard, and which has a separation with a median involved, and it's actually next to the competing convenience store. We've had no, Nevada City Partners in operations of their other convenience stores have had no complaints or concerns with their business operations, and we just ask that you approve with those conditions waived. And we're here to answer any questions you may have.
Your Honor?
Yes.
If I could, I also, when I met with them, I think it was last Monday, I wanted to put in a condition that we'd have a six-month review, removing those other conditions, and they said they'd rather have it denied.
And thank you, Councilman, for Mayor Pro Tem Reese for meeting with us and hearing our position. We obviously would prefer that it not be denied. The only reason that we stated that position is it would be difficult to make that.
Well, I am going to put a condition in my motion for a 6-month review.
Mm-hmm.
And you said you didn't want that. You told me on the phone you'd rather have denial.
Correct, and simply because it would just be too big of a risk to put in and remodel this whole store.
I explained to you, we've had a lot of problems down in the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
We do have a new store there where the old Albertsons was. I get calls each and every day. There's no parking down there. There's old people trying to go into the drugstore and get their prescriptions. They can't find a place to park. It's just wide open right now. We have had problems down there, and I don't know where you got your records, but when we allowed Albertsons to go in there with their small convenience store, there was a condition on there that they would be single, and they went through the process. There was no problems, and so they went through the review process and it was fine.
Yeah, and we just feel that it would be a serious economic disadvantage, and that it would be too big of an economic risk to remodel the store. And if a competitor decided that they wanted to file a complaint, it could cause serious problems. And we understand that business license enforcement can help enforce these issues if we had that liquor license in place. So.
You're the first applicant that's come forward in the 15 years I've been here that would rather have a denial than a 6-month review.
I think, Mr.
And Mayor and
Scott?
Council, I just want to remind the applicant, just because an item is being reviewed doesn't mean it's going to be revocated. You need some kind of basis to have a revocation, not just a review. If you have more calls for service than normal or something like that, the council could revoke the special use permit. But normally on a review, it's just to make sure that there's no problems. And if there aren't any problems, you go on with life as usual. So.
Right. And we understand that. It was just the
Well, see, I want to
concern.
understand where you're coming from, because are you saying that if the mayor pro tem wants to have a 6-month review, you would rather have him make a motion to deny it? Yes. Is that what I'm hearing?
Well, basically, that we feel that with these conditions in place, even with a review period, that it would be too big of a risk to remodel the property.
I don't know.
And
Mr. Familian runs a good shop, but you have to understand where the mayor pro tem's coming from. He doesn't need me to help him, believe me. But basically, what he's saying is he wants to make sure that there's appropriate ingress and egress, that the store is doing well, that the other stores are succeeding, and that's his job. So basically, you're saying you'd rather have it denied than him to do his job.
And Mayor, let me just remind you also, you don't need her permission in order to place conditions on the record.
Oh, I
she can
understand
agree
that.
or not agree, but
No,
you're
no,
welcome
he
to place
understands
any
that, of
conditions
course.
you believe are necessary.
No, he understands that, but I'm just trying to find out where they're coming from. I mean, that's what I'm asking, whether or not they're asking for you to move for denial. I can't believe this.
Well,
She said to me, Your Honor, on the phone last Monday that she'd rather have a denial than a 6-month review.
Yeah, I think she may be considering it now.
Well, I'm going to make a motion for denial.
yeah. Well, and if you're so inclined, we can accept the conditions for with the approval. We just find it might impose some difficulty in actually being able to open the property.
The mayor changed your mind, but I couldn't.
We will accept the approval with the conditions. Our preference and our argument today would be that we would respectfully request that those conditions be waived with an approval. But we'll be happy to go with your inclinations.
Matter of fact, she's delighted to be coming back here in 6 months to be reviewed. I think that's what I just heard, Mayor Pro Tem.
It's going to be denied. We got a lady there.
Did either of you want to be heard?
Yes.
Go ahead.
My name is Gay Trombetti. I'm the director of the child care that's right by where they want to open. We feel as though that there's enough places there that are selling the beer and the wine. I carry over 358 children in my center. The grocery store, yes, there has been a great deal of problems. That's a very booming business. That grocery store is doing wonderful. It is packed every single day, so it makes it very difficult for people to get in there and park their cars, even for a few moments to run into a little store right there to buy their beer and wine when they could go across the street or to the 7-Eleven that's right in front of me. It does pose a big problem for that grocery store and CPS that sits there. We just feel as though it's another store that's going to be just too close to the daycare, and that we have quite enough places that are selling the beer and wine.
I certainly appreciate that, ma'am. And again, our legal counsel, we can't, if we didn't already have the beer and wine out in front of your daycare, it'd be a lot easier to make a motion for denial. But with it that close, then it's pretty hard for me to deny it across the street.
Yeah, I know.
But I appreciate you coming down, though.
Really, my boss sent me here.
Did a good job.
All right. We never kill the messenger. Okay. Anybody else like to be heard?
Well, they mentioned children. Children is always my concern. But and as Mayor Pro Tem said, you already got alcohol and stuff being sold in the area anyway. The main thing is sometimes you have to have a lot of law present, whatever. Make sure whatever's going on that somebody's watching the children's interests. Them getting back and forth, their parents coming to get them, whatever. And as you say, one more business ain't gonna make that much difference if 2 more bottles of alcohol, so whatever. So all I'm trying to say, I'm not trying to make it one way or the other, but all I'm trying to say, everybody be cautious about the children.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Anybody else like to be heard? All right, we'll close the public hearing then. Mayor Pro Tem, what's your
Yes, Your
pleasure?
Honor. I'd like to make a motion for denial of this item. Just kidding. I would like to make a motion for approval of item 73 with the condition that we have a 6-month review.
All right, that's a motion. Let's
If
vote.
I may, just to confirm, will that be at a public hearing of the City Council? Or just administrative?
Yes.
A public hearing in the City Council, and that would be 6 months after the issuance of the alcohol license.
Yes, but
Thank you.
that's 6 months after it opens.
Right, okay.
And
And that would be retaining the conditions as they are written.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, that's a motion. Let's vote. Opposed?
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Motion carries. Good luck. Item 74 is SUP 36782, a special use permit. The applicant is SB Las Vegas LLC. The owner is Summerhill Plaza Partners LLC. Request for a special use permit for a beer, wine cooler on-sale establishment within an existing 2,560 square foot restaurant with a waiver to allow a 115-foot distance separation from a city park where 400 feet is required at 7541 West Lake Mead Boulevard. This is in Ward 1, and the Planning Commission and staff both recommend approval, subject to conditions. It's a public hearing, which is now declared open. Yes, sir.
Mark Utanis, I'm the Vice President of Operations for the company that's opening here, Smashburger. We are looking to open probably 17 to 20 of these over the next 4 years here in Las Vegas. So I guess my biggest thing that I wanted to point out is that there are, closer to the park, you already have existing properties that are selling full alcohol. We are only going to be selling bottled beer and wine.
All right, thank you. Any questions of the gentleman? And what is Smashburger?
It's a fast casual dining experience. I guess it'd be described as kind of almost like a Chipotle or something like that for burgers.
Okay. Thank you.
But much better.
Okay, very good. Okay. Anybody like to be heard at the public hearing? All right, seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. Councilwoman.
Margot, would I be correct for the viewing audience if I stated that the reason why we have waivers in the city is because if there are extraordinary circumstances or special geographical circumstances, we can then use common sense in not following the rules to their entirety.
Mayor and Councilwoman, that's absolutely correct. And a waiver does not require the same findings as does a variance. A variance requires by state and local statute that there be something unique about the property. A waiver is simply the allowance for the Planning Commission and the City Council to consider the circumstances of this particular use in this particular location.
Yes, and I bring that up because I had some communication from individuals worried about a waiver with this entity that close to a park. Now, the park is across from the 100-foot primary arterial, which is Lake Mead.
Yes,
the park does have a high fence.
Yes, ma'am.
So it would be extremely difficult for someone to be able to go from the park over to your place of business. And I point that out, again, because oftentimes people don't realize that that's why we have waivers, so that we can use our common sense in situations. And the staff said that the waiver is appropriate as the park is located across Lake Mead Boulevard, a 100-foot primary arterial, and is located within a large commercial shopping center containing other similar uses. And this use is ancillary to the proposed restaurant. It can be conducted in a manner that is harmonious and compatible with the existing surrounded land uses. That's why staff recommended approval, and our Planning Commission recommended approval 7-0. I had one question, and that is, I did have someone call concerned about the parking in this whole business park. They feel the parking overflows into some of the residences behind it. And I'm just wondering if we could have somebody go check that out and see if there's a need for some help over there, or that it doesn't have anything to do with you, but I did want to mention that.
If I may, interestingly, in this center, they are 100 parking spaces above what is required. So while there may be instances where there's a busy time, and we could certainly take a look, but this particular center is overparked at this time.
It has an over number of parking
That's
spaces
correct.
available.
521 are provided, 412 are required.
Okay. Thank you. Well, I did have one call, and I wanted to clarify that. And I move for approval supporting the Planning Commission and staff's recommendation.
Okay, let's vote on that, please. Post. Motion carries. Good luck to you. Okay. 75 is SUP 36823. Special use permit, a public hearing. The applicant owner is Sri Ganesha, Inc. Request for a special use permit for proposed 4,194 square foot supper club at 4450 North Tenaya Way in suite number 115, 120, and 125. This is in Ward 4. The Planning Commission and staff both recommend approval. Subject to conditions. It's a public hearing which is now open. Is the applicant here? Anybody here on behalf of Sri Ganesha, Inc.? All right. Councilman Anthony, what's your pleasure on this one?
This is actually, it's my understanding, Mario, that an SUP has already been approved by the City Council for this. The only reason it's back is because they switched from... Oh, I'm sorry. Thanks.
You bet.
I haven't said anything today, and I forgot about my microphone. It's my understanding that the SUP has already been approved by the City Council. The only reason that we're back here today is they went from 2 suites to 3 suites, which increased their occupancy by 10%. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, so my motion is to follow the Planning Commission staff recommendation for approval.
All right, thank you. Let's vote on that, please. Post. Motion carries. Thank you. Item 76 is SUP 36891, special use permit. The applicant is Marie Gonzalez. The owner is Main Street Las Vegas LLC. Request for a special use permit for a proposed 1,680 square foot tattoo parlor, body piercing studio at 1223 South Main Street. This is in Ward 3. The Planning Commission staff both recommend approval, subject to conditions. It's a public hearing which is now open. Yes, sir.
Robert Gonzalez for my wife, Mari Gonzalez.
Be happy to hear from you, sir.
I just wanted to, I didn't know if this was like a formality to come back or something that changed. for the shop.
Okay. Are there any questions of Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes. What's your hours of operation?
From 10 to 10, Monday through Saturday.
10 to 10. You're going to be closed on Sunday?
Correct.
Okay. That's all.
Okay. Any other questions? Folks, a public hearing, if anyone would like to be heard? All right, seeing none, we'll close the public hearing then.
Yes, Your Honor. I make a motion to follow staff's recommendation and Planning Commission recommendation for approval of this item with all conditions.
Thank you. Let's vote, please. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Madam Clerk, would you please set the public hearing dates and appeals from the City Planning Commission meetings and dangerous buildings or nuisance litter abatements? Okay, this is the time for number 78, citizens' participation. Public comment during this portion of the agenda must be limited to matters within the jurisdiction of the City Council. No subject may be acted upon by the City Council unless that subject is on the agenda and is scheduled for action. If you wish to be heard, please step up and give us your name, and let's put the 3-minute timer on. Yes, sir.
My name is Anthony Oz. I live 123 David. Mr. Mayor, I have 3 old council meeting situations, and then I have one thing from the only Congress lady we had years ago, and Ms. Tatiana. I'm sure she's familiar with her, but I just still want you to have a letter that she sent me many years ago. This is for her, not for the entire. We get that to her, please. And the rest of them is pictures that I just want to show. When Jan Jones first came in, this was her administration in '91, and after you came in, well, before you came in, her second administration was, on her second term, was McDonald, Adamson, Reese sitting there, you and somebody left, and what the guy named Brown, he over there at the county, whatever. So that's the end of that. So, and then you had when you and Allison had the whatever, and you beat Allison, then this lady Bridget, whoever her name is, let her be whatever. Well, she became the second lady, in city government. Okay, after Janice. Furthermore, you the mayor, McDonald was there, that lady was there, Reese and Brown. That was. Furthermore, when you became the mayor, this was your tenure, right? Okay. That's all I'm trying to say, Mr. Mayor, is that I'm a man that keeps up with all I'm trying to say is I keep up with everything, okay? And so,
oh, yes.
I love you, and I want to say that me and you and everybody else, and I'm over there at the county and everybody jumping on about the President of the United States. Do you know I'm one of 14 people that man sincerely thanks and recognizes and help him get to the White House? So I don't need to run to see him or knock over things and fight to get there or go to one. The President of the United States, he knows me. That's a beautiful thing to be the man and his wife and children, they know me. That's enough. I don't need to be fighting and raising all kinds of, like I do my thing with me and you, we battle a lot, but I still love you, that, whatever. But anyway, I don't mean to waste your time. I got to go. But isn't that something how I keep up with stuff? 1991, when Jan was sworn in. By the way, I campaigned for her and for Frank Hawkins, help them get here. What I'm trying to say, Oscar, and as far as the black community, and I'm going to have to jump on there and then I'm leaving. Ward 5, before Ward 5, the West Side didn't have no black representation. You get it? Because it was McDonald. And then that lady, what's her name, Moncrief or whoever, and then you, whatever. What I'm trying to say is that before Ward 5, they didn't even have no more representation. They ain't never told me things I don't need it. But the point is, Ward 5, Barlow and Weekly, whatever. Okay, you too, Ross. Give me a break. Thanks.
Hello, I'm R. Joshua Collins, the Anointed One, the King of Kings and Lord of Lords, the immortal Son of God, who will rule all nations with an iron scepter. That's who I am. My hope is that many will be saved and believe in me and not doubt. I know that it's hard to believe that the Lord will come back in a body like mine, but that's how he came the first time, right? In a body like mine, right? So I want to remind the council that, under NRS 201, we're to uphold good morals and public decency. Under NRS 196, that's treason if you don't do that. And legalizing sin doesn't make it right, and those who continue to practice sin will be condemned forever. I invite all to come to me that you might be saved, but I know that all that reject me will be condemned. And there's a number you can call, 380-1055, if you like prayer, Bible study, salvation, any kind of ministry opportunities. My hope is to have people saved, not condemned. And I'd like to give people understanding on the book of Revelations. A lot of people have a misunderstanding. If you read Revelations 29, it talks about basically the Battle of Armageddon. And it's saying that fire from God comes down out of heaven and devours the enemies of God. Well, that fire is from God. It's the Word of God. It's not an actual Armageddon fire or nuclear holocaust like a lot of people are expecting. So don't worry about the nuclear holocaust. Okay? And the fire actually took place around March 24th when I won this trial here. And God showed me the fire come down from heaven in the unseen realm. And it got on the front page of Forgotten Voice newspaper. You can look at the May edition 2009. It went all over the world exposing the treason and hypocrisy going on in the courts of Las Vegas. And also exposing what sin is and isn't. And, if you like a copy, I'd love to share it with you guys. I'll leave some here with the court. Is anyone here to take this?
Yeah, the clerk would be happy to take it.
Okay. For those that are actually interested in Bible prophecy, this was actually the Battle of Armageddon. You see in Revelation chapter 19, when the Lord comes back, a sword comes out of his mouth. It's not a literal sword, it's the Word of God. So, right now, I just encourage people to believe in me, and I know I've been arrested 29 times now for preaching and protesting for the homeless, and, someone that just has a normal life doesn't do that. Obviously, either I'm anointed or I'm crazy. I used to be a math instructor before the anointing of God came on me, so I could make a lot of money if I wanted to, but that's not what I'm here for. And I'm now here for the souls of people, so hopefully I hear from you guys. The number's 380-1055, and non-believers I know will be condemned, so I just hope you believe that I truly am the Messiah. God bless.
Okay, thank you. Next, please.
Good afternoon, Most Honorable Mayor Goodman, Most Honorable City Council. My name is Russell San V. I am so sorry I don't know how to say the fifth in Mandarin. I wanted to thank you for your kindness. Those who have asked where I have been so long, everything is doing well, and I cannot thank you enough. With the forbearance and the indulgence of our mayor, I would like to introduce two VIPs in our audience. My brother-in-law, Pastor Bill Kober, and his lovely wife, Valerie, my sister, Valerie Russell Kober.
Welcome to Las Vegas.
Last year, I wanted to take this opportunity to extend to all of our fine and lovely Chinese friends, residents of Las Vegas, the happiest of New Year's. I was born in 1947, the year of the Golden Boar. Mostly the mayor called it the Golden Boar, also called the Golden Pig. I have been called a boar, but never a pig. So thank you so much. May I have the overhead, please? There's no reason for alarm or for panic, but for the common good and welfare and the safety of the citizens of Las Vegas, we have a crime alert. I will read it as quickly as possible. Along with the following request for assistance in keeping your parks and recreation center safe, we would like to provide this information as a public service announcement to you, our citizens and neighbors. The City of Las Vegas Deputy Marshal Unit is currently investigating a series of auto thefts and burglaries and robberies that recently occurred within city parks and recreation centers. Should you have existing knowledge of the identities of any persons responsible or believe you have information that can lead to the identification of suspects, please call Deputy City Marshal Unit at 229-6444. It is about as shocking as the sunrise when I say that we have the best police department in the entire United States. Sheriff Gillespie is amazing in his ability to manage with great fiscal restraint, conservatism, and efficacy. Also, I wanted to commend the work of our greatest marshals in the entire United States, Chief Coyne. I consider that we have an exact and perfect 50-50 partnership with our great police department and our great marshals. There's been a grotesque rumor that there may be layoffs. I simply want to go on the record and say, please do not touch our perfectly great marshals any more than you would not touch our Metro forces. I thank you so much and have a great day right here in Las Vegas.
Thank you. Next, please.
I just got to make one comment, Your Honor.
Certainly.
Hey, I didn't know you'd been gone, buddy. I'm sorry.
Well, thanks a lot. Have a great evening.
Sorry,
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
I'd just like to tell him he's looking well.
Yes.
Thank you. That's very kind of you.
Stanley Washington, Las Vegas. Didn't get a chance to really weigh in on this issue with the president, so I'm going to do so now. Mayor, I do respect your right to say what you see or how you see it and how you feel. Hopefully you'll respect mine as well. Because what I'm going to say today, I am, unlike yourself, I am supposed to be saying this. Okay? And so with that, here we go. I am shocked, disappointed, and embarrassed that you would feel so free to disrespect the President of the United States and stir up the deep racial sentiments that have come about. Is this not the same president that created the Save America stimulus bonds that allowed this new city hall to be built? Is this not the same president that permanently killed off Yucca Mountain, something that President Clinton and President Bush couldn't or wouldn't do? And now that the hooded wonders from South Carolina are attacking Nevada and attempting to revive Yucca Mountain, aren't we going to need the President Obama's unwavering allegiance in fighting off the Yucca Mountain supporters? As for the idea that the president is slow is laughable when compared to the history of Las Vegas, a.k.a. Mississippi of the West. Slow is when you rank last or second to last in every meaningful category in the country, from K through 12 to higher education to health care, energy production, even cultural sophistication and sciences. Slow is when the city of Las Vegas, after 30 years, still does not get the core purpose of redevelopment and who it is supposed to primarily benefit. Slow is when you fail to diversify and count on one industry to carry you on forever, and it doesn't work. I have talked with a number of Jewish leaders, including the president of the Downtown Business Association, Mr. Worthington, and Mayor, none of them support or embrace the position that the president is slow and is not welcome to Las Vegas. I will continue to have discussions with my colleagues in Los Angeles, California, who find this subject matter most interesting and still want to go ahead and pursue an apology from you because they feel one is in order. Make no mistake about it, Mayor, I stand with my president. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Mr. Collins?
Thank you, Mayor and council people. My name is Gene Collins, and I reside at 1101 Eleanor Avenue. I was awed and somewhat disappointed in the relationship that our city manager, our mayor has taken with the President of the United States. As you know, Mayor, several years ago when you decided to run for mayor, I was approached by the powers to be that I was headed in the wrong direction and told me that do not make the new mayor an enemy, and so do not support you as the mayor. Well, I don't think I made an enemy out of the new mayor because you're sitting there. And the thing is that I know that there are different ways of handling different situations here. And the fight now is not between who I see, you and the President of the United States. It's between, like Mr. Washington alluded to, those individuals now who is trying to recertify the Yucca Mountain and to ship their waste to Nevada. And now the problem has come about that those individuals who has nuclear waste in their backyard no longer chose to keep it there. They want to come after the president now because he, like Mr. Washington alluded to, the only one that gave his word to Nevada and kept his word. And we only have 5 voting individuals here in the state of Nevada. So I think the issue is between, are we going to rally behind the president or are we going to recertify what those individuals down in South Carolina want is to make sure that Yucca Mountain become the dumping ground for everybody's literature. And I don't think that you, along with anybody up there, would join hands and support what those individuals are trying to do, is ship their garbage to Nevada. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to be heard today? All right, thank you, everybody. Meeting's adjourned.